you don't need to have everything figured out by your 20s. Now, I remember when I was younger and I thought that 20 was so old. I thought 25, you know, I'd have everything figured out. And then, well, I just didn't even think that 30 was something that was going to happen to me. You think that you need to have it all figured out by your 20s, but that's just not true. I'm 32, I don't have everything figured out. I thought when I was younger that I was going to go to law school and then become a lawyer, and then that was really the path that I was going to take. What's happened in reality is slightly different. I took a different route, I did something different, I worked in a different field before going to law, and I'm so happy that I did that because I experienced lots of different things. I traveled, I did lots of things that I might not have been able to do if I just kind of went head first into my forever career. And I'm so happy that I took that time to learn about myself and what I did like and what I don't like, because now I'm going into my 30s. I now know what the things are that I want to put my attention on and give my full energy to. Really, the moral of the story is that your 20s is just a brilliant time for you to try out new things, start a business, try different hobbies, travel the world, try different jobs, work out what you like, because this is the best time to do it when you probably don't have as many responsibilities as you may do going into your 30s and beyond. If I had one piece of advice, it would be to just try new things and work out what you want to do with your life, and don't feel like you have to have everything figured out. I know that especially in this day and age with social media being so prevalent, you just think that everyone's got everything figured out, and there are 23-year-olds with successful businesses and straight teeth and abs, and everyone's working out all the time and they've got their amazing morning routines and everyone's thriving. But in reality, things aren't really like that, and you can't compare yourself to people that you see on social media. You don't know where they've started from. They could have family money, they could be financing their lifestyle through credit cards and loans and debts. Social media is generally smoke and mirrors, and you can't believe what you see online, and you certainly shouldn't be comparing yourself to them. I promise you, not everyone has it figured out by their 20s, and you shouldn't feel like you need to have it figured out either. And everyone is on their own timeline and has their own journey as well. For example, Vera Wang didn't become a successful designer until she was in her 40s. So not everyone is figuring things out and becoming successful in their 20s. It doesn't work like that. Like, things take time and they can't be rushed. Being very successful in your 20s is the exception rather than the rule, despite what Instagram might have you believe. I learned that quality is so much more important than quantity when it comes to friends, and also when it comes to things. So I remember when I was younger and I thought that I needed lots of friends and I needed all these things, but actually I learned during my 20s that it's far more important to invest your time very carefully on high quality friends and high quality belongings. You know, I went into my 30s with a handful of best friends who have the same values as me and who I genuinely want to spend time with. In relation to things that I own, I've been through the phase where I bought loads of stuff from fast fashion websites, and towards the end of my 20s I realised that actually it's much more important to invest in high quality basics and pieces that are not going to go out of fashion, timeless high quality clothing that will last you for a long time. I recently threw away like 6 or 7 bags worth of fast fashion from my wardrobe, and it was actually heartbreaking to think about the amount of money that I've spent on clothes that I don't even really like, clothes that I don't feel comfortable in, and I just wish that I had saved that money and put it towards things like experiences, holidays. Then it wouldn't have been sat in my wardrobe literally gathering dust for the whole of my 20s really. I mean, this was all stuff that I bought in my 20s, and now I know that going forward I'm not going to be buying anything on, I don't even want to buy anything online anymore, but I know that going forward I won't be wasting my money on fast fashion and clothes that are really just made for one season. And kind of interlinked with that is the fact that it's way more important to invest your money on experiences and not things. Throughout my 20s, fashions have come and gone. Like, I remember when Louboutins were really in fashion, you know, a variety of designer handbags which were must-have or that you could see on all these different influencers online. And I think it's really easy to spend your money on these things thinking that you need them or that you want them, but you get a serotonin boost when you buy these things, and for the first couple of times that you wear them you feel great, but then afterwards the novelty wears off, and then the next fashion comes out that you need, and you end up in a cycle of buying things, needing new things, and getting bored with your existing things. So I learned that it's far more important to invest your money on experiences like holidays or whatever you want to do, because those will give you lasting memories. You'll be able to look back at photos, you'll be able to sit there and reminisce with friends about the good times and what you did on this holiday or that holiday, and trust me, that is priceless, and it's not something that you can really get. You can't get memories from a pair of shoes, apart from actually my Louboutins. I have bad memories from them because they're extremely painful, and also when I went to sell them, someone with a foot fetish tried to buy them and wanted me to like stand in mud before I posted them, which I thought was a bit weird. But apart from that, you generally won't get many memories from your clothes, I don't think. Things and belongings only really have a short shelf life in terms of the memories that they provide you, but experiences and holidays and memories with friends will last a lifetime. Something that I wish I learned earlier was that people really don't give a damn what you're doing. There's not a microscope on you. People don't care. People really only care about themselves and what they're doing, and this is something that I wish I realised earlier. And there's something called the spotlight effect, which is a term used by social psychologists in relation to the tendency that people have to think that their lives are under a microscope and that people pay way more attention to them than they actually do. And I think it's quite similar to the feeling that you get, you know, when you go to the dentist and you have an injection and then you go numb and it makes you feel like your face is like really big or your lip is like drooping. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good analogy. People can't notice your face when you go to the dentist, and genuinely people are not interested in what you're doing. Everyone's walking around thinking they're the main character in a TV show. If everyone's concerned about what they're doing, then surely they are not going to be paying attention to what you're doing. And I think that's important to know and important to remember, because if I had realised that earlier, then I might have been more confident to try more things than I actually have done so far, because I was worried about judgment from other people or worried about what other people will think. But actually, people generally won't care what you're doing. And the final lesson that I wanted to share with you today is the fact that rejection and failure is a good thing. And I think that during school and sixth form and college, we're kind of taught that failure and rejection is bad. Like, if you do something bad, we get a detention. If we do something good, we get like a sticker or whatever. You know, passing your exams is important because it allows you to get to the next level, etc. We're kind of taught that rejection is a bad thing and failure is a bad thing from a young age. But during your 20s, you will learn that failure and rejection is a good thing. It means that you're trying new things. It means that you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're growing as a person. And I think it would actually be quite sad and quite a shame if someone went through their life not making mistakes and not failing at things, because that surely means that they're not putting themselves out there for fear of failure or fear of rejection. But then if you're not putting yourself out there, then you can't grow. You might be limiting yourself. From my experience, rejection and failure has always opened new doors for me. Things have always worked out regardless of whether I failed at something. It can be easy to think that rejection and failure means that a door has closed in front of you, but that just means that another door opens to the side of you, and that's really exciting because you never know what's going to happen. So in fact, the more things you fail at, the more redirections you should have, and I just think that's really exciting. So if there's one thing that you take away from this video, I would love it to be that failure and rejection is a good thing. I hope you found this video helpful and that you can take at least something away from it. If you did find it helpful, please do give me a like. Also, let me know in the comments below if there are any lessons that you've learned and that I haven't mentioned. I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you in the next one.